He cried at school plays. He danced into every room. For 11 seasons, Cameron Tucker was the lovable heart of Modern Family, and we never asked the real question. What if the drama was not just who he was? What if it was how he got what he wanted? Today, we pull back the curtain on the fun one. First, let's be fair about why Cam fooled us for so long. He was easy to love, a farm boy who became a performer, a stay-at-home dad who adored his daughter Lily, the fun one, the hugger, the guy who said what everyone else was too scared to feel out loud. And the writers built him as the exact opposite of Mitchell. Mitchell was the uptight lawyer, tense, judgmental, always working, always counting the cost of things. Standing next to a man like that, Cam looked like pure joy. So when Cam blew up or cried or made a giant scene in the middle of a party, it read as color in life, not control. There is also the bigger picture to think about. A committed gay couple raising an adopted daughter was still a big deal on network TV back then. It mattered to a lot of people, so nobody wanted to be the person poking holes in it. Cam's flaws got a free pass that other characters never would have gotten. And here's the simple truth about a guy who brings most of the laughs. It is very easy to miss the exact moment his feelings stop being feelings and quietly start becoming weapons. And the very first tactic is so small you probably laughed at it. But once you see it, you cannot unsee it. And it all starts with a mess he never planned to clean. Let's start with Season 3, Episode 4, Door to Door. Cam wakes up feeling fancy and decides to cook. He whips up a giant French-style breakfast and turns the whole kitchen into a disaster zone. Crepes everywhere, pans everywhere, and then he just leaves to go help Gloria find her dog. Now Mitchell is tired. He is always the one cleaning up after Cam's little creative moods. Every single time. So this time, he makes a choice. He is not touching it. He is going to let it sit and finally prove a point. Cam comes home, and get this, he is happy the mess is still there. Because in his head, Mitchell was always going to crack and clean it anyway. That was the whole plan. Leave the chaos, let the guilt build in the background, and let Mitchell quietly handle it like he always does. So Mitchell figures out the game and fights back the only way he can. He makes it worse. Whipped cream on Lily's little princess hat. The whole thing turns into a standoff between two grown men over a kitchen. And it all comes to a head right before the adoption agency shows up for a home visit, which raises the stakes even higher. Watch what really happened there. Cam created the problem. Then he leaned on Mitchell's sense of duty and guilt to fix it for him. That is not a guy who is simply bad at chores. That is a guy who understands exactly how guilt works on his partner and uses it on purpose. And if making the mess was bad, what he pulls out of the closet in the next one is so much worse. Now Season 4, Episode 3, Snip. Lily just started kindergarten, so Cam suddenly has a whole lot of free time on his hands. Mitchell, very gently and very politely, suggests maybe Cam could pick up a part-time job. Just help out a little. That is a totally reasonable thing to say to the person you share a life and a mortgage with. Cam does not just say no. Cam does something way bigger than that. He pulls out a suitcase. The man gets a bag ready, like he is about to walk straight out the front door. Stop and really feel how that lands on Mitchell. He asked for one fair, calm conversation about sharing the load. And the answer he got back was the threat of leaving. Not yelling, not a real back and forth. Just a packed bag sitting there in the room quietly saying, "You push me on this, and I am gone for good." So what does Mitchell take away from that night? He learns that asking Cam to step up and contribute is dangerous territory. He learns to stop pushing before it even starts. And by the end of the episode, the whole job conversation quietly fades away and Cam lands on teaching music instead, on his own terms. Crisis avoided for Cam. But the lesson sticks for Mitchell. Big dramatic emotions plus a small hint of abandonment shuts the entire conversation down every time. And as bad as a packed bag is, the next thing he hid stayed hidden for years. This one is darker. Season 9, Episode 20, Mother. Dee Dee is Mitchell's mom. She is difficult. She is the kind of mother who knows exactly how to push every single button her son has, and she pushes them on purpose. Mitchell keeps his distance from her for very good reasons that built up over a lifetime. Then Dee Dee shows up out of nowhere, and slowly the truth starts to come out. Cam has been secretly talking to her this whole time. Emails, phone calls, a real, ongoing relationship for years, all of it behind Mitchell's back. And Dee Dee has been quietly using that secret back door to steer their life from a distance. Even the kitchen decor turned out to be her idea, passed along through Cam. So Mitchell finds out that the one person he deliberately kept at arm's length had a direct line into his home the entire time. And his own husband is the one who opened that door and kept it locked away as a secret. Now watch Cam's very first move the second he gets caught. He does not apologize. He flips the whole thing around. Suddenly, Mitchell is the one being selfish. Mitchell is overreacting. Mitchell apparently has a problem with simple friendship. It takes a long while before Cam finally admits Dee Dee was playing him the whole time to control Mitchell. That is the move in a nutshell. Control the information, control who gets in, and when caught, make the other person feel like the villain. But hiding a secret is one thing. The next one was planned years before anyone even knew there was a plan. Season 11, Episode 7, The Last Thanksgiving. It starts small, almost by accident. A misunderstanding makes their friends think Mitch and Cam have split up. So the support comes rolling in, texts, calls, people checking in to see if everyone is okay. But here is the part that really stings. Every single bit of it goes to Cam. Mitchell gets nothing at all. Complete and total silence on his phone. Mitchell pushes hard to find out why, and the truth that comes out is honestly wild. Years before, Cam had faked an entire breakup story on purpose. He set the whole thing up just to test which friends would take his side. He preloaded the loyalty in advance. He made absolutely sure that if they ever really did break up one day, the whole group would already be standing on Team Cam before the fight even began. Sit with that for a second. This was not some heat-of-the-moment slip-up. This was a long game played out over years. Cam quietly stacked the deck so that in any future argument, Mitchell would already be the outsider looking in. He isolated his own husband before there was even a real fight to have. This is the exact moment the pattern stops being cute and starts being something else. Because the kitchen mess and the suitcase and the secret emails all happened in the moment. This one was planned far ahead of time. Cold, calculated, and when the whole thing finally came to light, Cam still managed to find a way to deflect the blame. But here is the part nobody wants to admit. Cam did not pull this off alone, and the next piece shows you exactly who helped him. And it is not just Cam carrying this alone. The whole family quietly helped it go on for years. Look at Season 5, Episode 4, Farmstrong. Cam's sister Pam visits and basically says out loud what everyone in that house already knew but never admitted. The family treats Cam like he is made of glass. They tiptoe around him. They handle him with extra care because he is the sensitive one, the fragile one, the one who is not, in her words, farm strong. So nobody ever sits Cam down for a real talk. Nobody calls the pattern what it actually is. Every blow-up ends the same predictable way. A hug, a song, a quick laugh, and a clean reset for the next episode. There is no real conversation, no fallout that actually sticks around and changes anything. And when the show itself never once holds him accountable, why on earth would the audience at home? That is the whole magic trick. The mockumentary format lets every character explain away absolutely anything straight to the camera. Mitchell keeps getting painted as the uptight wet blanket who ruins the fun. So Cam's chaos starts to feel like freedom and joy instead of what it really is, underneath all the charm. But the real cost of all this was not paid by Cam. The next part shows you who actually got hurt. So what did all of this actually cost in the end? Look closely at Mitchell. He spends the entire series walking on eggshells in his own home. He gives in far more than he ever should. He carries the heavier load. The bills, the cleanup, the planning, the worrying. And he swallows the resentment down quietly instead of ever letting himself say it out loud. And then look at Lily, growing up in the middle of all of it. She spends her childhood watching one dad use big dramatic feelings to win over and over again. She watches that strategy work every single time it gets pulled out. That is the lesson she is soaking up without anyone realizing it. Make a scene, play the victim, turn the feelings up loud, and you get exactly what you want. In the relationship itself, it is not really an equal partnership at all. A true partnership means both people's needs actually matter and get weighed fairly. But in that house, one person's feelings keep deciding every single outcome. Here is the honest takeaway. Modern Family handed us a flawed, funny, deeply human character, and there is nothing wrong with that on its own. The problem is the show never once stopped to question the pattern. So it quietly taught us that cranking your emotions up to 10 is a fine way to control the people you claim to love. Cam had a toolkit: guilt, secrets, victimhood, pressure, and he used all of it